Welcome to some new r/malicious compliance stories, where people comply to the letter, but not the spirit of a request. I hope you had a great day. Thanks for all the likes and comments on the last video. If you would like to support this channel, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. And now, let's start with the first story. It's called More Pickles. I worked at McDonald's in the late 90s. I was working the grill one evening and an order comes through the drive-thru for a quarter pounder with extra pickles. Standard pickles on the quarter pounder was 2, so extra was 4. That was the standard procedure at the time. I slap 4 pickles on the sandwich, wrap it up, slide it into the warmer and go on to the next order. About 30 seconds later, a guy comes walking into the store, carrying a sandwich and smacks it down on the counter. He is visibly angry, probably intoxicated, and says, "How hard is it to put extra pickles on a sandwich?" The manager intercepts him from the cashier, apologizes, takes the sandwich and asks me to make a fresh one with extra pickles. I do as I'm asked and make a fresh sandwich with 6 pickles this time. Wrap it up, slide it into the warmer and go on to the next order. The manager hands the angry man his sandwich and he immediately unwraps it. He is not satisfied. He begins ranting that we must all be mentally inept, in not so nice terms, to not understand his request for extra pickles. The manager continues to apologize and asks me to make another with lots of pickles. I again do as I'm asked, but instead of counting pickles, I take a literal handful from the dressing table and slap them on. There's no more pickle than bread or meat on this sandwich. I wrap it up and slide it into the warmer. This time I do not go on to the next order. I want to witness the result of my handiwork, so I stand picking between the pie dispenser and warming cabinet to watch what transpires. Again, he immediately unwraps the sandwich. However, this time, instead of beginning another rant, his visible anger fades and he stands there in silence. The situation may have been diffused, until the moment he looks up, locks eyes with me and sees my stupid 17-year-old grinning face. He is enraged. He throws the sandwich at me and it hits the pie dispenser right next to my head. The missile explodes in a shower of pickles and everybody starts yelling. In the end, the angry man got a refund, but he also got arrested and trespassed from the store. I declined any charges, but it turns out he was drunk and caught some charges for that. The next story is called No Water. My former employer was quite a large metal treatment company, and as you can imagine, it's hard, hot and heavy work. Well, the manager of this factory feels the need to stamp his authority whenever he gets a chance. This number 2 is the lapdog type, who just blindly follows what the big boss says, even if it's an awful idea. As was usual at this place, we all get pulled into the break room for a briefing. Basically, just where we all get told how rubbish we are and all the wonderful things the company does for us. His best example was, like making sure we all get paid, to which my response was, well, if you didn't, we wouldn't be here. So how is doing that such a great thing for us? This particular week, we are told for some reason that we have no respect for the facilities and keeping things lean. That was because we have our water bottles put on the various desks throughout the shop floor. We asked for a designated place to put them then, to which we are told it's now a health and safety issue. So we all go back and forth questioning whether we aren't allowed to drink water on shift. Obviously the boss and his lapdog see this is completely not allowed. So they say, "Oh no, but you have to go to the break room to get a drink if you feel thirsty." Very well. Every single one of us on shift will go to the break room to get a drink of water whenever we are feeling dehydrated. I was the supervisor at the time and got the other 2 supervisors on board with me. We told all of the guys that every one of them had to go get a drink at least once every 30 minutes to make sure they weren't dehydrated in this dangerous environment, totaling about 14 or 15 drink breaks per man, minimum. Each taking approximately 5 minutes by the time they leave their station and return, losing over 1 hour of production per man. Well, obviously this had a major impact on the productivity of the line. By the second day I was pulled aside by the lapdog. I responded, well, they are only being responsible and looking after their own health and safety. That's what you want, isn't it? You don't want someone passing out and causing an accident, do you? This continued for another 3 days or so, before there was not only a complete U-turn of the drinks bottle situation, but we used it to get the company to install water machines at every station in the factory. Apparently, the so-called health and safety issue was no longer an issue. In the end, the big boss's tiny ego cost the company tens of thousands in production and thousands in water machine installations. The third story is called Best I Can Do. Many years ago, I worked for one of the largest overnight package delivery services. I was efficient at my job and followed all the rules. At the time, we were focused on expanding our international business. Due to individual country customs laws, we had a handbook showing all requirements for a particular country. This made processing international non-document shipments extremely time-consuming. One particular day, pre-internet and cell phone, I'm working my regular route. My onboard computer, which gives me my work orders for pickup, starts beeping like it's malfunctioning. This was at 2 PM. I look at the screen and all my work is getting reassigned. After clearing the message buffer, one stop, 1 mile away and not part of my route pops up. It's for 125 4-foot-long rolled-up billboards going to all parts of Europe for a movie premiere. I call my dispatcher and tell her, what the heck? Why did you give me a bulk stop on Mr. Lazy's route? Why can't he do it? Her answer? You know he always refuses to work late. I tell her to send me back to my route and find someone else. She said my boss told her to give it to me. Not usually true, but was her standard response. So I called my boss and he confirms. Mind you, I still had deliveries to finish. This bulk stop will take a minimum of 2 or 3 hours to process solo, so I tell my boss I can't do it on time on site and get back to the hub in time. There's nobody else available. Do the best you can. I finish my deliveries and arrive at around 3 at the location. The shipper hands me a stack of labels and points to the pile of rolls on the floor. I was angry before I arrived. Now I am fuming. I call my dispatcher, requesting backup. Same response. No one is available, but I will try to get you someone. I never got the backup. I hang up and start mumbling. This is BS, the customers can't hear me. We are required to process packages at the customer's location. This is necessary in case of errors or missing paperwork. Our delivery guarantees kick in as soon as we take packages off the customer's location. Each of these packages is worth over $100 in shipping revenue, so I get to work. At 5 PM, I'm not even half done. I load everything in my truck, drive back to the hub and contact the manager on duty. I dump the entire shipment on the floor as instructed. 10 co-workers descend on the pile. The boss says I can go home. I do my closeout routine of 20 minutes. Then I walk past the swarm of co-workers processing the pile. The next morning I get called into the hub manager's office. She asks what happened. I explained what I did. She says that the client was so important that they made our plane wait an extra 30 minutes, costing us $10K, and that she had to write me up. I responded, I followed all company policies and was instructed by my direct boss to do my best. I did just that. I don't believe it is fair to get punished for working as directed. She looks at me and says, you are right. You can go. Just make sure there is no next time. No write-up followed. The last story is called Hurry Up. Several years ago, I found myself in a hell known as Best Buy on Black Friday. This was the first year they made us work on Thanksgiving Day. The mobile area, where hordes of greedy shoppers stormed to, is where I was sentenced. People as far as the eye can see, all standing and staring a hole in me. I'd done several setups and my next couple, mid-20s, came forward. As I can't leave, I get to hear stories about their lives as we go through all the paperwork and get their new phones. The guy had already been making rude comments about the rate and the cost of accessories and getting on my nerves. We used to have a machine that we hooked to the phones and it transferred all the data to the new phones. Well, it didn't get the memo that we worked today and broke a few hours into our shift. I take the woman's new iPhone and set her up by transferring her data from the old phone to the new one. It's been about an hour at this point and I'm ready to set up the guy's phone and he hands it to me. I go down the list of stuff, making sure to get his iPhone library, contacts, iMessages, etc. I start to notice that the guy has a lot of pics with him and another woman who did not look like his fiancée. I snicker as it's none of my business and continue loading everything to iCloud. Now, the fiancée has gotten bored and wants to go and she's complaining about how loud it is. The guy starts yelling at me to hurry up and really setting me off. Throughout all of this, I remain calm and finally get all his stuff over. I let him know that I didn't link his fiancée to the iCloud account and that he can do that himself. He gets upset and tells me I'm not doing my job. He tells me to sync the shared albums on iCloud because they have to go. I tell him to trust me. He should do it himself. He grabbed the phone and did it himself. He hits share and all hell breaks out when his fiancée starts to see all the pictures of him with this other woman. He screams for a solid minute. He said I put the photos of this woman on his phone. He has no answer for the woman he is in the pictures with. She storms out after throwing her ring somewhere in electronics. He looks at me and I said, I told you not to do it. I do get shoved off of my bench to the floor and the manager kicks him out. Keep in mind we have hundreds of people in the store, probably 40 in the mobile area watching this, and it was dead quiet. And with that, we end today's video. Let me know what you think about the stories. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the stories and today's video? I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please subscribe and hit the like button. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe. Bye bye.